Hey, y'all. Thanks for listening. It's the Tryin Times with your boy Jer, a.k.a. Reg Backwards. I'm back. I didn't really leave. As you guys know, if you listen, you maybe listen to me on Blue Mouth and you're liking what you heard. So now you're here over on the Tryin Times. It's not going to be that much different, except we're not going to be talking as much sports. The Tryin Times is going to be dedicated to leadership, bettering yourself, getting out of the darkness, becoming your true self, studying life, gathering experiences, just about anything that makes us grow. We're not going to use the word makes us tick. We're going to vent. We're going to talk. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. Little bit of all the emotions here on the Tryin Times. We're going to talk some films, some music, struggle, just about anything, because mental health is hot right now, you know? No, just kidding. I've always been into kind of religion, spirituality, both being raised Irish Catholic and also my father being not necessarily raised Catholic, and he was someone who found some spirituality later in life. So I've always been a little bit into the weirdness, and after my football playing sports career, I went to a lot of music shows and a lot of concerts and a lot of music festivals. And once this whole pandemic thing calms down, I'll probably get back out there, maybe start shooting some video, and I have some aspirations to take this Tryin Times journey to somewhat of a virtual live stream musical exposure performance. So hopefully some of what we're doing here and laying down here in the Matrix will take on a new form in the future, where the Tryin Times will provide opportunity for young musical artists and creators to voice their stories, tell their tales, play their song, talk about their art. Because we're well-rounded here on the Tryin Times. We are well-rounded here at the peak performance, entertainment, artistry, kinship, the peak mountain system of bettering yourself. Studying the greats and studying what's making them ascend to the peak and what it takes to balance at the top of the peak, because at the top of the peak is the most difficult place to be if you've ever been there. So today's episode is a little bit of a reconnection with what the Tryin Times is all about, and just to sort of introduce anyone who hasn't, been involved. You can see the blog at thetrayintimes.com. I'm going to be taking that into a website this winter. But if you ever want to write, if you ever want to talk, this is a space for you to get behind the mic, make up a fake name, tell a story, talk about something that makes you feel good, talk about something that makes you feel, talk about something that makes you feel like you found some truth, because that's what it's all about, baby. And music is a big part of that. I've listened to music my entire life. It's influenced my life. It's changed my life. It's nurtured my life. It's taught me lessons. And I don't even play it. I'm not a musician per se. But studying music and talking about music, experiencing music is, I think, very close to sports. It takes a lot of craft and practice and kinship, teammate, all the things that bring music together, whether you're in a band or whether you're by yourself. Composing music, composition. Whether you're Skrillex or whether you're a rapper, whether you play piano, whether you play one of those little fucking one of them little things. It's inspiring It inspires yourself, it inspires your spirit, it inspires others to watch you thrive and want to be like you and want to tell your story, rip it out of the soul. I got 5 songs by 5 artists for you to go back and listen to and apply the Tryin Times peak methodology to it. Listen to their performance, listen to the entertainment value, listen to the artistry, and listen to the kinship of their hearts. Number 1, Kenny Hoopla. I found this kid during the pandemic. If you listen to Tryin Times, you may have heard me talk about him before. He is somewhat independent because when I first heard him, he was just basically like a music video on YouTube, and it was clearly pretty independent because he looked like he was producing the videos himself and the music himself. But How Will I Rest in Peace If I'm Buried by a Highway? That's the one you got to go listen to. You can find it wherever, 2020. How Will I Rest in Peace If I'm Buried by a Highway? Kenny Hoopla. Turns out Travis Barker, I think, found him, brought him out to LA, shot a couple videos, played some drums, and had some jams, and he got some exposure. But I hope that Kenny Hoopla maintains his sanity, doesn't get lost in the sauce out in LA, and I hope that that kid continues to make great music because we keep talking about this peak. And once you get up to that peak, everything gets a little bit harder to balance, and there's a lot more weird vultures out there that are going to try and tear you back down the mountain. So we're rooting for all of these artists to continue ascending to the peak and to balance on top of that peak. Poor Stacy, another artist that I found in the last year or so since the pandemic. He is another one that younger, somewhat independent, but also I think Travis Barker has already plucked him and has already made a few music videos with him. But the one that I want you to go check out, Don't Look at Me by Poor Stacy. This song, I was telling Rayleigh Girl, my fiance, I told her that it reminded me of a time when we were going out and getting after it to the early morning night, you know, when the birds are coming up. And I've heard this song since getting away from that lifestyle. And I'm not going to always preach on here, but I am going to advocate. And I advocate experience and exposure, but I also advocate safety and security. And the best, closest you can get to sobriety as you can. But Poor Stacy, when I hear this song, it reminds me of partying. And it's interesting because I heard the music following sort of quitting, getting out and getting after partying. And there's a certain level of like PTSD that when you're getting away or getting sober, kind of getting away from partying, that you hear a song that you used to listen to when you did party, and it sort of like makes you feel dirty or makes you feel bad or makes you get this PTSD feeling of like, oh, fuck, that happened. But once you get out of that lifestyle, you can reattach good feelings of music where I hear that song, it reminds me of another time, but I heard it after getting better, and it's extremely rewarding because you're like, now I can go talk about this with somebody else, and I don't have a bad feeling because I didn't experience this song while doing whatever in the nighttime those many years ago. But check it out. It's a great song. Don't Look at Me. It'll make you go out. If you go out, have a buddy watch your back. And keep friends around you that are going to tell you the truth no matter what. Like my boys, my blessed boys. Fontaines DC. We talked about this one before on the inaugural beginning of the Tryin Times, but I brought them back into the fold because they made it on Jimmy Fallon. One of the reasons why we're always going to be talking music on here is so that you know who is on the up and up, who's on the come up. Fontaines DC, Jackie Down the Line. They performed this song in a really interesting way on Jimmy Fallon's show with like a drone flying around an auditorium. The audio quality is a little bit sketch in the video, so I would suggest going to their main like HQ official video to hear, or go to Apple Music or whatever. But this band is so cool. I think that they're from Ireland or at least somewhere in Europe. But it was cool to see that they made it on Jimmy Fallon, and I hope that they continue to ascend because they're a really, really awesome band. And I can't stop listening to them. I don't even like this song that much, Jackie Down the Line, but it's so catchy. And once again, despite how dark and gross the pandemic has been the last 2 years, I found this band in my own journey in the darkness of the pandemic while finding my strength and my purpose to get through these trying times. So when I think about these bands, when I hear them come out with new music, it's post-pandemic, but it reminds me of ascending, climbing, getting through, not letting evil empower our day. So listen to that one. Number 4, St. John featuring Kanye West. You're going to hear me talk about Kanye probably more than you want. But this dedication is really about St. John. It's spelled J-H-N, so I think it's St. John. And it might be S-N-T, J-H-N, J-H-N, J-H-On. St. John is an awesome listen. You can find a lot of songs by him. Pretty much every one slaps. But the one we're talking is called Smack DVD. It gets me so excited. I just need you to put it on. Next time you're in kind of one of those fucking pissy, I'm ready to just rip someone's face off mood, and you need a pick-me-up, play Smack DVD by St. John and Kanye West. Kanye West! Promise. Finally, number 5, my guy, Rayleigh Girl, and I were at Camp Bisco several years ago. And I may have told this story before to some of you. But we're sitting on the hill kind of like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, hot as shit, 95 degrees, but the sun is kind of starting to get over the mountain, Camp Bisco. All of a sudden, guy runs out on stage on a scooter with Jinko jeans, windbreaker, just starts throwing down an absolutely amazing set. Oliver Tree. If you haven't introduced yourself to Oliver Tree yet, I suggest you do. Every video that he has is going to confuse the shit out of you. The bowl cut, the 90s. His first album had some really trippy videos, really weird, artistic, good budget, film quality. But he's got a new one out. His new album, he's been like kind of spinning this country western act. It's sarcastic, but it's tight. It's good, but it's weird. The new one is called Freaks and Geeks by Oliver Tree off of the Cowboy Tears album. You can also find Cowboys Don't Cry, but Freaks and Geeks. Check out the video. The video's weird, but there's something about this song that just makes you feel good because he talks about a lot of weird stuff in his songs, but there's real feeling in these songs and there's real truth in these songs. And I want you to listen to the words of this song, Freaks and Geeks by Oliver Tree. So there's your top 5 peak music of the week. And we'll probably, do something a little bit different on each episode of the Tryin Times. But this week we did music. Maybe we'll do, shows or characters or whatever. If you have any ideas or if you ever want to hop on and talk, let me know. Get at me. You can reach me at jr7reg@gmail.com. You can reach out on the channel. Do whatever you want. But if you have an idea or you're inspired in some way by this podcast, just let me know. Because we want to spread this. We don't want this to be all about me. I'm just trying to show you guys that it's not weird. You guys can talk about this stuff too. One thing I wanted to talk about real quick, because I didn't write about it on the blog. This obviously started as a written format, and I'll continue to write on there, but I didn't get a chance to write about this really. Last Saturday, I had an absolutely terrible morning mentally. A very, very almost uncontrollable sadness and anger and just physical, it felt like my neck and my spine were just cellular pain. And I hadn't had a day like that in a while. And I was really struggling to get out of it. It even had me kind of conspiracizing about 5G and is this my nerves? Is this my cells? But eventually, through the patience and grace of my beautiful fiance, she sort of was able to endure my shit mood, and by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I was able to kind of finally get out of it. But once again, just wanted to share that with you, because it's we're all human beings, and there wasn't anything that anybody did to make me feel that way. And I had been pretty busy at work and definitely extending myself. But what I realized was I had pushed off all my stress to that day, and the body just couldn't take it anymore. And I hadn't gotten very good sleep during the week. I got back into playing basketball, so it's the second week, but that was the first week. So the first night, Monday, I was pretty shot by the end of the week. And I think there was even a snow day mixed in there with some weather and working from home. And man, it was just rough. But essentially, we got through it and we got back on the saddle. And it didn't take very long. And that's what the message of today is it's a muscle. Your mental health, your mental wellness, your mental strength is a freaking muscle. And if you don't keep working that muscle, if you don't keep trying, it ain't gonna work. You're gonna quit on yourself after 2 reps of mental taxation. If you've ever worked out, if you've ever exercised, if you've ever pushed your body physically, there's a cat and mouse game between your mind and your body. And you have to continue to push yourself and trick yourself into going further. But then you find this strength in the darkness. You find this light in the darkness of losing all fear, because there is no fear. Nowhere in your future will there be fear. I promise you. If you live your life trying, working, just don't quit. That is what is going to keep you going. Because when you're constantly at least trying just a little bit, you're always working that muscle. And if that muscle starts with 1 rep, then you get to 2 reps. Then you can handle 3 reps. Then you can handle 4 reps. And guess what? Pretty soon you're going to be up to 10, 50, 100 reps. Mental taxation reps, because you're living in that chase. You're constantly trying to get better. And I've been able to find this ascent, this pattern of, look, I don't need to be satisfied with where I am, but I can at least be satisfied with what I'm doing to try to get there. And luckily, through support of my family and my beautiful fiance and my friends, I've been able to get there. But understanding that it's not easy to stay there, and understanding that once you get there, You're going to have moments like I did last Saturday. You're going to have days. But it's the time that it took me to get back on the saddle that was so short that I was able to see that if you can maintain a workout mindset where you're not always seeking perfection but progress, and if you can maintain a state of progress where you're learning, evolving, studying, teaching yourself, teaching others what you're finding the truth, well, then you're going to be able to get back on that saddle pretty quickly, because guess what? What do you have to feel guilty about? And what do you have to fear? So struggle can be met with fear. Struggle can be met with sadness. Struggle can be met with anger. But ultimately, if you're always trying to get stronger, struggle is going to be met with strength. And that's my final lesson. So be strong this week. Be strong today. Be strong tomorrow. Whatever it takes. Start building those mental reps, baby. We'll be back next week with another episode of Tryin Times. Thanks for listening, guys. Remember, I'm always here to talk. If you need me, if you want me, I'm here. I'm just trying to show you guys that it's not weird. It's all weird, baby. Love you.